Breaking free from porn addiction. Welcome to the Sacred Karma podcast. I'm your host, Vicky, and today we're diving into a subject that many avoid, but one that has silently captured millions of lives: porn addiction. This is not just about sex, not just about pleasure. This is about how an entire generation is losing vitality, intimacy, and connection because of what has become one of the fastest growing addictions in modern life. Porn has become so accessible that with just a click, an entire fantasy world opens up. But behind that world lies a trap. Addiction always begins with curiosity, then comes habit, and slowly dependence. And when it comes to porn, the damage is not just mental, it's physical, emotional, and even spiritual. Let's speak the truth. Masturbation in itself is not wrong. In fact, occasionally, once or twice a week, it can even be healthy. But when it becomes daily, when it becomes compulsive, when it becomes tied to porn, then it begins to destroy. For men, it drains energy, vitality, and weakens both body and mind. For women, it creates its own psychological traps, blocking natural intimacy and building dependency on fantasy rather than reality. Pornography also fools the mind. It creates an imaginary world where everything looks exaggerated, where sexual acts are shown to last hours, where men and women perform like machines. But this is not real life. What most people don't realize is that porn films are shot in intervals, edited, cut, and stitched together. Injections, pills, enhancements, and manipulations are used to give the illusion of superhuman stamina. No ordinary man or woman can live up to these illusions. And when someone tries to, they end up frustrated, broken, or feeling inadequate. And this is where the psychological damage begins. People start believing that sex is supposed to look like porn. Couples watch porn before intimacy, thinking it will spice up their relationships. But in reality, what it does is kill the natural charm. Instead of connecting with each other's presence, bodies, and emotions, they start imitating a performance. Love becomes an act, intimacy becomes imitation, and slowly, the sacredness of the relationship is lost. The side effects of compulsive porn and masturbation are deeper than most imagine. Physically, it causes fatigue, weakness, and loss of focus. Mentally, it creates blocks, anxiety, and sometimes even depression. Spiritually, it keeps a person chained in lower desires, never allowing them to rise into the higher states of awareness. The energy that could be used to create, to build, to love, to grow is wasted. Think of the young man who spends his nights glued to screens instead of studying, working, or sleeping. Or the married couple who have everything, yet feel disconnected because their intimacy is mediated by a third element, a video. Or the woman who feels unworthy because she believes she has to look or perform like those actors. These are not small effects. These are wounds that cut into the very fabric of human relationships. Science, too, supports this truth. Excessive pornography rewires the brain's reward system, dulls sensitivity to normal stimuli, and raises the threshold for pleasure. It's the same pattern seen in drug addiction. Over time, natural touch, natural intimacy, real presence all begin to feel inadequate compared to the artificial high of pixels on a screen. And let's talk about the actors themselves. What you see on screen is not reality. These men and women are often forced into extremes through manipulation, drugs, or injections. Scenes are staged, repeated, cut, and edited. There is nothing natural about it, yet millions believe it to be the standard of real intimacy. That illusion itself is perhaps the greatest damage porn does to society. So, what's the way forward? The first step is awareness, recognizing that porn is not harmless entertainment, but an addiction that robs life of authenticity. The second step is control, choosing to redirect energy into creation, exercise, meditation, real relationships, learning, and building something meaningful. The third step is gratitude. Gratitude for being human, for having a body, for having the power to create life and connect deeply. When you start valuing that gift, porn feels like an insult to your own existence. Remember this: pleasure is momentary, but connection is eternal. The sacred act of intimacy between two human beings is not about performance, it's about presence. It's about seeing and being seen, about touching and being touched, about souls meeting, not just bodies colliding. So remember, porn isn't love, it isn't intimacy, it isn't connection. And the more you free yourself from it, the more you allow real experiences to shape your heart, your body, and your relationships. That is the true sacred karma, learning to honor the human connection as it was meant to be. This is Vicky, your friend and guide, signing off. Carry love in your heart, grace in your actions, and peace in your mind until we meet again in the next episode of the Sacred Karma podcast.